Hey guys, this is Gene Jensen, and what I'm doing today is I'm just covering water. I got no clue what these fish are doing. I don't know if they're deep. I don't know if they're shallow. Don't have hardly a lick of wind, so I don't know if they're going to be in the mood to chase or they're sitting with their bellies on the bottom, eating stuff off the bottom. So what I do when that happens is, I'm basically junk fishing, and I like to keep my deck somewhat clean. If I'm totally confused, you'll see 15 rods on the boat. But today I've just got 3. It's keeping it simple. I've got a square bill crankbait on, and it's on a TCS medium moderate action 7-foot rod. Got a lot of bend in the rod. You guys can see a lot of bend in the rod. I've got a 6th Sense square bill. Looks just like a threadfin shad, and there's a little bit of shad popping right there. But anyway, and I'm covering water with it, and I'm gonna fish it until either I lose confidence in it or I catch a fish. And the reason I'll stop fishing it when I catch a fish is I want to see what kind of a mood they're in. If I just catch the fish on the back hook, he's not quite in the mood to hit a crankbait. If he chokes it and it's a good fish, I'll be throwing that crankbait the rest of the day. But the other 2 rods I keep on the boat when I'm covering water, when I'm covering the bank, is I keep a jig rod. And the reason I keep a jig rod is to find out what other kind of a mood they might be in. They're either going to be in the mood to chase or they're going to be in the mood to eat off the bottom. So I have on this rod, hold on, let me put this one down. I have from Seaward Outdoors, my favorite jig company, you guys know that, is what's called their Gridiron jig, which is a new football jig that he has. And the trailer is a Biospawn Viocraw. And the reason I like that Viocraw on a jig, especially this one or shoot just about any jig, is that it skips really good. You get that nice little keel. Let me get that skirt out of the way. Nice little keel that I can skip it up underneath docks and underneath cover and stuff like that. There's not a whole lot of bank cover on this lake. But the other reason the reason I've got this tied on is because it's a dragging bait. I throw it out, I let it sink to the bottom, and I drag it where I think the fish are. Say I get a follow-up, a fish follow that crankbait into the boat. I'll stop and I'll throw the jig out and drag it on the bottom and see if they're more likely to eat it off the bottom. Another thing is if I catch a fish around here in Georgia, the bottom of our lakes are red clay. And sometimes you'll catch a fish and their belly will be red, and that's because they've had their belly on the bottom for a long time. And that tells me that I need to be dragging a jig. And then the 3rd rod I'll have on the boat, this is a medium heavy action 7-foot rod. It's an all-around good rod. I mean, it's an all-around useful rod. You can have anything from jigs to Texas rigs, things like that on. It's what Scott Martin calls his all-purpose rod, or his all-purpose, it's called the APC, I think. So all-purpose classic, I think is what it's called. But anyway, it's a 7 or 8 1-to-1 reel, so I can get the bait back to me real quick. 20-pound test fluorocarbon, and just a good all-around rod and reel combo. Now the 3rd one I keep on the boat is the one I caught my personal best off of, or at least the type of setup. And it's a 7'6" heavy action rod, 65-pound braid, basically a Texas rig that's pegged. It's a small, you hear people talk about punching rigs all the time with those ounce and a half, 2-ounce weights. Well, this is just a 1/2 ounce weight, pegged, see a little bobber stopper right there, with a 4/0 owner grip pin hook and a Biospawn Viocraw the claws have been dipped in JJ's Magic. And this is for when I come up to a piece of cover, a lay down, anything else like that, and I can just simply grab it and pitch it in, let it sink to the bottom, shake it a few times, pick it up, and just cover that piece and work that piece of cover a lot more efficiently, a lot quicker, and try to get that reaction bite when it comes down and drops on a fish's nose. That's where the big ones are going to be. So I've got big line, big rod to be able to get them out. And that's my setup. And it really works good for me. I'm going to run this bank, see if I can catch one on video. If not, I'll close it out and say goodbye and do all that other stuff I do. So, well, I don't think I'm going to catch a bass that wants to be on video. So caught 2 or 3 today. My only stupid excuse is that yesterday was Memorial Day and this lake got hammered. But just remember, be prepared to cover some water. You know, have the right rods rigged up to be able to cover, you know, any circumstance or anything that might come up along the bank or even out deep. And you know, another thing I might put on instead of that jig would be a Carolina rig. You know, something I can drag on the bottom. But just have your stuff together, and be ready to pick up something else and flip it in, or pick something up else and try it. And you're just trying to figure out what the bass's mood is. You know, do they want to chase, or do they want to hit it moving, or do they want to eat it on the bottom? So anyway, well, like I always say, take somebody fishing, introduce somebody to this wonderful sport, show them my videos. You know, let me help you teach them, and more importantly, get out on the water, go out and catch some fish, have an absolute ball. Thanks. Have a great day.